Getting right into the video per usual. As you see, the title is Stop Letting People Send You on Guilt Trips. We all pass judgment on each other, each and every one of us. Anyone that claims they don't judge is being dishonest, frankly, right? Because passing judgment, that is a human behavior. That is an aspect of human nature. So we all do it. Even if you're not passing judgment with your words vocally, you're doing so with your thoughts mentally. We all do it. We judge people by their income, what they drive, where they're living at, schools that they attend, looks, you name it. We're all passing judgment. Okay? I judge because that is me exercising discernment. I need to know who's who. Okay. I need to discern if it's safe to have you around me. Can I trust you around my children? Can I trust you with sensitive information? I need to know who to stay away from. I need to know what to do, what not to do, who is trustworthy, who's a snake, etc. That is exercising discernment. Judgment, passing judgment is an aspect of that. That is exercising discernment. It's not about not passing judgment. That's the thing. It's about who's qualified to do so. That is the main takeaway here. Who is qualified? Again, it's about intention. What is your intention as you're passing judgment? Show and prove that you're qualified to pass judgment on me and my choices and my actions. Show and prove why you're qualified to pass judgment. What are your intentions? What have you accomplished in life? Not just materially, not just tangible things, because people love that. They love using that. You can't, not me. You can't use that on me. That doesn't work on me. I can look way past that. That does not work on me. What have you accomplished spiritually? Where's your mind at? Right? Let me see your resume. Show me your friends. Who do you have around you? What type of characters are around you and your children? Show me how you move under pressure. If we decide to bust a move together, are you going to fold like a lawn chair? Or are you going to stand 10 toes down like I would, like I do? So it's not about passing judgment. It's about whether you're qualified to pass judgment on someone. That is the main takeaway. So people will have the audacity, per usual, to pass judgment and then try to send you on a guilt trip while their reputation, their character, and behavior is sketchy, right? Which proves that they're unqualified to do so. Sending you on a guilt trip, that means that you're going away from home. You're going on a trip just like you go on a vacation. You're going away from your home. Home in this sense, meaning yourself, your mind, body, and soul, meaning you're no longer in a safe space where you can think clearly, where you can process your thoughts and your emotions and the day-to-day events from an autonomous place, right? Where you can critically think for yourself. You don't have outside voices, people in your ear, right? You're in your safe space, processing your thoughts, other people's thoughts, emotions, day-to-day events, what you read on social media, what happened at work, what happened at school, wherever, from an autonomous place. And that's virtually impossible when you think about it. When you have allowed people to become your judge, jury, and executioner, you're not able to process your thoughts and your emotions and what's happening around you and all of the events that took place today for that day from an autonomous place. That's virtually impossible to do when you have allowed someone to become your judge, your jury, and executioner, right? Who are unqualified. That's the difference. Again, we're all passing judgment. We can all play the role of judge, jury, and executioner. Done it already. I've done it multiple times because I was qualified to do that in that particular situation. That doesn't mean I'm qualified to do it in other situations. In those particular instances, I was qualified to play judge, jury, and executioner. Okay? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? When you have allowed people to become those things in your life, to play those positions, they now control your mind, your body, and your spirit. You have allowed them to suppress your God given right, because we all have it, to freedom of thought. You have allowed them to suppress your God given right to freedom of thought and peace of mind and autonomy. Once you have allowed someone to control that, oh man, that's a conundrum right there. That's a situation. That's a situation that you're going to have to figure out how to get out of. Shout out to DeAndre Bonds. Y'all know who DeAndre Bonds is. He plays Stacy in The Wood and also Lockdown. That's the movie I'm going to speak about real quick. The reason why I'm bringing up DeAndre Bonds is because, excuse me, of a recent sit down he had with Art of Dialogue, the Art of Dialogue YouTube channel. So I was like, oh, snap. When I watched it, I thought about the interview that he did with Vlad TV, about it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. He had sat down with Vlad and he had asked DeAndre about the role he played in Lockdown. Listen, if y'all haven't seen that, anybody that has not seen that movie, trigger warning, okay? Trigger warning. It's not for the faint of heart. There's very explicit, violent scenes where people are being violated. In this case, particularly the character that DeAndre Bonds had played. That movie had, when I tell you, an intense, extremely intense visceral effect. It's one of those movies that me, anyway, I could only watch one time. Just like American Me, another prison movie. I can't even do them anymore. It's too much. It's too much on my spirit. Anyway, I'm bringing him up because on that Vlad interview, now there may be more out there, but I'm speaking on the one that I watched. Vlad asked him about the scene. It was two scenes where he was great, right? Two different occasions. And I mean it was brutal. It was brutal. And he had told Vlad that he cried. He said that he cried after he did that scene, those scenes, because it was two. He said that he regretted it. He cried after it because it didn't sit right with his spirit, right? It did not sit right with his spirit. Um, and I noticed, again, this interview, this was about 3 years ago. Even then, this man, you could tell in his eyes, not only his eyes, his body language, because I'm very good now. I'm skilled at reading body language, right? Doesn't matter what's flying out of your mouth. I can look in your eyes and I can read your body language, and then I can get a sort of a transcript, so to speak, of what's really going on with your mental and emotional health, right? In this interview, looking at this man and looking at his eyes, he is still, to this day, even the interview he just did a few days ago on the Order Dialogue, right? He is being tormented by his choice to play a role where he was violated twice, right? In the movie, he was in a prison. That was the setting. He said that he regretted it and he cried after it. And in real life, to this day, this man, you could tell, I can, that he is still being tormented by the guilt. Not only his guilt, because he laid guilt on himself. He said himself that he cried and he regrets doing it. If he could go back, if he could take it back, he would. He was under contract, blah, 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 blah. They skip it. It's tormenting him to this day. I could see it in his eyes. This man has been losing sleep for a long time. For a long time. And he was also on another interview. I kind of just watched a little bit. He was either intoxicated. People in the comments were saying that he was sick, that his health was compromised. I don't know, but what I do know is that his choice, that he laid guilt on himself, right? He's not allowing himself to live down his choice, but other people won't allow him to live that down. When I say other people, I'm speaking particularly about other men. Other men won't allow him to live his choice down, right? He didn't say that. I'm just speculating. This is what it appears to be. Other men won't allow him to live it down. This is why to this day, you look at him when he does these interviews, in his eyes, this man is being haunted and tormented by a movie that came out in 2003, by a role that he chose to play. So these men also who will not allow him to live his choice down, who have used guilt to weaponize against him, right? And to control, because that's what it is. That's what's going on. I guarantee you, those same men who bring up his past, his choice that he made, right? These same men, I'm pretty sure they crack jokes about his sexuality. They make facetious remarks. These are the same men who are closeted homosexuals that are doing more with other men for less, right? But because this man has chosen a role, he's a public figure, and he's an excellent actor, by the way. Oh man, I love him as an actor, right? Because he was open and public about the choice that he made, the role he played, and then him saying how he regretted it. They're weaponizing that against him. These same men are doing more with their bodies with other men for less. Let's stop playing. We know that. We know that. Doing more with other men for less than what DeAndre Bonds did, than what he got paid for those two scenes. And shout out to him. I brought him up because that was it's such a it was a good example. It was a good example. Again, I just saw a recent interview and it fit perfectly with the topic of this video today. I just hope that he can forgive himself if he hasn't done so already. Maybe he has, maybe he's tried. Again, the look in his eyes, body language, this man is being tormented to this day. Tormented, like losing sleep. I just hope that he can forgive himself and fortify himself, most importantly, not only against that voice in his mind, him telling himself that he's not worthy and who he is and who he isn't, and still dwelling and stewing on this choice that he made way back when. I hope that he can fortify himself against that voice in his head, and also against all those other people, particularly other men who weaponize this guilt as a form of emotional blackmail. So shout out to him, because you never know who will run across your video. And I like to put things out in the ether. Everything that we say on here on social media, you're putting it out in the ethers, whether you think it's entertainment or not. Right? And I'm not an entertainer or a comedian. I'm neither of those. I'm here to speak truths. I'm here to expose lies. I'm here to uncover hypocrisy and highlight degeneracy, and also do commentary every now and again on current events, I'll say, on current events. So if you allow them, people will weaponize guilt against you as a form of emotional blackmail and punishment, especially if you're a people pleaser. Especially if you're a people pleaser. Once these people find out that you are a people pleaser, listen to what I'm saying. Find out that you seek validation and approval from people. Let me tell you, that's when they're really going to go in for the kill. That's when I'm talking about they're going to sink their teeth in your neck and shake the life out of you like a pit bull. I've seen it. And also people try to use it on me. During my less evolved phases of my life, right? Oh, that's exactly what they're going to do. Listen to what I'm saying. That was a graphic illustration, right? But people can be cutthroat. No pun intended. No pun intended. People can be cutthroat to meet their end. And this is reality. This is human behavior, and this is human nature. Right? Why do people use guilt as a tool of control? That depends on the context. There are several reasons, really. People can become envious that they are too cowardly to make the choices that you made, that they low key wish that they had the gall and the wherewithal to make. They become envious about that. So then they start using guilt as a tool to control your emotions. It could be as simple as that. Here's some examples, right? Let's say you had the courage to move out of your hometown and start fresh in a new city, right? You had the courage to quit a job that was draining you. The job didn't offer the work life balance that they claimed it would when you signed up for the job, right? During the interview. You chose not to have any children or get married, right? You chose to practice celibacy. I spoke about that in the last video. Check that out, anyone who has not checked that video out. That was the one before this one, right? You unsubscribed from one religion and subscribed to another, or you left church or religion altogether. So those are just some common examples, right, of why people would become envious of the choices that you made that they low key wish they had the courage to make. But because they don't, they will weaponize guilt as a form of emotional blackmail and punishment to control your emotions, basically to knock you down a peg and to knock you off of your square, to bring you down to their level of misery. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And on the flip side, people will try to send you on a guilt trip because you made a choice that doesn't align with their values and their beliefs and what they were taught, right? So that's the flip side of that. So they might not necessarily even want to make the choice that you made, but because they're caught up in their own beliefs and their own belief system and what they were taught, they're experiencing cognitive dissonance. So here they come with their unsolicited opinions on a choice that you made, right? And another layer to this is more often than not, emotional blackmailers, punishers, they weaponize guilt along with gaslighting. That's the double whammy right there. Pay attention. It might not happen to you. It might have already happened to you. It might happen to you in the future if you don't take heed or to someone else, but pay attention. They'll use guilt and gaslighting as a double whammy tactic. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know. So just think about that for a second. I speak a lot about people needing to mind their business. But let's be realistic here. We are not on an island by ourselves. We as human beings, we look to each other for ideas, inspiration, for social validation, to learn what to do, what not to do, etc. But that's where the real work of transformation comes in at. Are you spending more time looking to, at, and for other people for whatever reason that you're looking to, for, and at them than you are to, for, and at yourself? That's the main question here, right? That's where the real work of transformation comes in. How are you spending your time? The degree to which you can mind your business, which means worrying about your own mental health instead of the next man, instead of the next woman. How is your mental health? Because it's going to creep up on you. Whatever you have been ignoring, whatever you have been lacking in and pushing to the back, focusing on this person, it's going to creep up on you. How is your mental health? Again, the degree to which you can mind your business, which means worrying about your mental health, checking your own degenerate behavior, correcting yourself. This goes for all of us, even me. This is what separates the powerful from the powerless. So, yeah, we all tell other people, mind your business, mind your business. Again, we're all coexisting together on this physical plane. So that's almost impossible for people to do, is not mind each other's business, because we're all humans, right? We're all here to learn lessons, to course correct, and to ascend, right? So, but that's the difference between powerful people and powerless. How are you spending your time? is the real question, is the $64,000 question. So the problem, again, is people spend more time trying to break other people's spirit than building theirs up. One more time. The problem is people spend more time trying to break other people's spirit than build theirs up. Spending more time picking other people apart, scouring people for flaws and imperfections to weaponize, to make yourself feel better than, because that's the main reason why people do that. A lot of people come in the name of God. They come in the name of teaching and bringing awareness. Oh, blah, 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 blah. No, what they're doing, they have found a way to intellectualize their busybodiness and find people that they feel are less powerful than they are, who are weaker or less effective. And then that's when they come with all of the unsolicited advice and picking apart other people, trying to break their spirit, all of the above. Okay. So they're spending more time picking other people apart, scouring people for flaws and imperfections to weaponize, to make themselves feel better than, instead of evaluating their own timeline of choices and decisions, whether that be past, present, and future. So it's all about, again, self-awareness, understanding yourself so that you can understand others. How are you spending your time and your intention? Are you qualified to pass judgment on people? Have you looked at yourself? Have you checked yourself first before you can check someone else? Have you played the roles of judge, jury, and executioner on yourself before you have decided to do that with others? Like I said earlier, when I have chosen those roles, I was qualified to do so in that particular instance, which doesn't mean that I will be qualified to do it in others. But in that instance, yes. And that's why I won. That's why it worked. That's why I won. That's why I won. That was me minding my business. So for the sake of your dependents, for the sake of you and your dependents' mental and physical health, stop allowing fallible, keyword, stop allowing fallible human beings to guilt trip you to a place you may never return from. One more time. Stop allowing fallible human beings to guilt trip you to a place you may never return from. Stop allowing unqualified, fallible human beings to pass judgment on you, giving you unsolicited advice, etc. Unqualified, meaning they are not doing better than you mentally, spiritually, physically, or emotionally. That's what that means. Stop letting them play judge, jury, and executioner in your life unless you have agreed for them to do so, right? People have all types of skeletons in their closets and unswept trash and filth in front of their door. Stop letting these people play in your face. I see it all day on here, online, YouTube, and other apps, and in real life. People having the audacity, right, to pass judgment on other people. Meanwhile, they have all type of skeletons in their closet. I mean, they falling out, the door hanging off the hinges, the closet door hanging off the hinges, because the skeletons is trying to bust out, and all type of unswept trash and debris and filth in front of their door. They refuse to sweep because they too busy in front of somebody else's door, banging a gavel. They too busy in front of somebody else's door, banging a gavel. Meanwhile, all type of filth and trash and debris and mud and oh my God, right in front of their door. They walking past it with a gavel. Unmitigated gall. Stop letting these people play with you. For real. For real. See, I can get away with that online, of course. Right? But I'm talking real life too, though. I'm talking real life where you have to actually face people, where you have to actually sit next to people in the cubicles at work and at school and the market and the bank and wherever. Life stuff, right? Virtual reality and real life, they both matter, but y'all get what I'm saying. Right? So stop letting these people play with you. Now, unless you're into BDSM or you have a certain kink, go ahead and do you. Right? Y'all know what I'm saying? But yes, y'all, this is deep. It is that deep. Some people say, well, it ain't that deep. Yes, it is. Those of you who take life seriously know exactly why it's that deep. Those of you who resonate with me, you understand, you know and understand that it is that deep because you take life seriously. And you know exactly why I'm speaking on this. Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to play in your face and try to send you on a guilt trip while they have filth, debris, and trash in front of their door and skeletons busting out the closet with unhinged doors. Get somebody else to do it. Don't let them play in your face. And you know what? Here's what's also wild about all of this, right? People really don't care about the choices that you make. Let's be honest about this. People don't care about the choices that you make. We're going to keep it a bean. Moral, immoral, ethical, unethical, right, wrong, whatever terms you prefer to use. They really don't care because it doesn't have a direct effect on their lives. They just want you to regret your choices because they're dealing with a regret and guilt written and filled with shame. Shame and guilt has been passed on to them by their mothers and fathers and their grandma. It's a generational curse, right? They don't care about your choices. They just want you to feel bad. They just want you to be powerless because they are. People are too selfish to really genuinely give a F about your choices, other people's choices. Each and every one of us is selfish. Let's go into that real quick. Some of us have a deeper level of self awareness and practice selfishness more consciously, aka calculating. People have a problem with that word. I spoke about that last year. People have a problem with the concept of calculating. With calculating, it only means that you are self aware. You have a deeper level of self awareness, right, than the average person, and you're practicing selfishness more consciously. But we're all selfish, all of us, right? If people don't have a stake in your choice, if there's no return on investment, they don't care. It's all about taking your power away, and you have to reclaim your power. You have to take it back. Weaponizing guilt is a way to control people. Simple as that. It's a power play. When you allow someone to shame you about your choices, you have relinquished your power. Simple as that. You are now powerless. You are now at the mercy of someone who you have allowed to play judge, jury, and executioner in your life. Okay? But here's the solution. One of them, and as far as I'm concerned, one of the most powerful solutions. If you have allowed this to happen to you, the solution is forgiveness. Not that person. Forgiving yourself. Me, I don't deal with forgiveness, the concept of forgiveness from the place that we pretty much all have been conditioned to believe what forgiveness is, which comes from a religious perspective. To me, forgiveness is about me forgiving myself for playing whatever part I played in allowing myself to be harmed. It's not about me standing in front of someone and telling them I forgive you, even though they didn't ask me. That's another thing. You see these news events with police taking out people and the families, particularly melanated people, and a lot of these families, the first thing they do is, oh, I forgive them. That's because they were conditioned to say that. These people, the police and the police organizations, they didn't even ask you for forgiveness. They just offered it because they think that's what they're supposed to do. Meanwhile, when they go home at night, they still crying in the pillow and holding on to the picture of their loved one that was taken out. But they then got on TV talking about I forgive them. But they didn't mean it from the heart because they're still grieving because they're not there's no closure. True closure, in my opinion, guys, in my opinion, the true closure is when you yourself sit with yourself and forgive yourself for whatever role you played in the events that unfolded in your life that were unpleasant. I don't care about someone, the person who has harmed me. If I was harmed by someone, I don't give a damn about you sleeping at night. That's your responsibility. This is what forgiveness means to me. Forgiveness is for me to forgive myself, accept what has happened so that I can sleep at night and so that I can move forward in life. It's not my job to help you sleep at night. That's your job. You need to forgive yourself for what you have done to me, not me. It's not my job to forgive you so that you can sleep at night. No, no. I found that out a long time ago because the forgiveness that the majority of us have been taught, it did never made sense to me. Why am I standing in front of you telling you that I forgive you and you didn't even ask me? And even if you did, it's not my job to make you feel better about your actions. Your actions came from your mind, just like mine came from mine. I have to forgive myself again for the role that I played at that time in allowing myself to be harmed, allowing myself to be in a position to be around you in the first place, or whatever. I'm not victim blaming, so don't take it like that. I'm just saying, forgiveness is for me to accept what happened, move forward, so that I can sleep at night and continue living my life until I'm ready to leave. Not for you to go to sleep at night. So that's just my solution. That's my take on a solution. If you have been caught up in the guilt trap, if you have allowed someone to play judge, jury, and executioner in your life and you're not sure what to do next, okay? Thank you again. Please like the video to keep this in the algorithm. I'm going to push more videos out. I appreciate all of your support. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.